Hey guys, welcome back to 70s Street Freak YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing how to identify and how to recognize what Brute style blower you have or which one you're looking at. Kind of just a quick reference guide so you know what you have. The most popular Brute style blower would be the 671, only because GM made somewhere along the lines of 50 million Detroit diesel 671s, and where that number is coming from when it was on the Detroit is it was a 6-cylinder with 71 inches per cylinder. So that's where the 671 comes from. Just a little fun fact. Same thing with the 471, 4-cylinder, 71 cubic inches per cylinder. So this one here, this is a 671 GMC blower, and when I say GMC, I mean it is off of a diesel. There are a lot of 671s, a lot of aftermarket companies who make 671 blowers, but they're no longer GMC blowers because they're aftermarket. They still look the same, still measure the same, still act the same. They're just no longer GMC blowers. They are casted elsewhere. So this one is a 671 GMC blower. Kind of what they do and what the internals of on them are they have these rotors in here. Those right there. So as the snout turns from the crank will have a pulley on it, and the snout will turn, and it turns those rotors inside. And what those rotors do, they pull air. So they pull air through the carburetors or the injection and pump it down into the cylinders. So obviously with 871 blower or 1071 blower, these rotors in here are longer. So you'll obviously get more air pushed through the cylinders with a bigger blower. What you can do to kind of make up for a smaller blower on a big cubic inch engine is you can overdrive the blower, and that's this pulley corresponding with the crank pulley. So what it would do is if you overdrive it, you put a smaller pulley on the blower and a bigger pulley on the crank, and that'll overdrive that. That'll make this spin even faster. You'll hear people say, 10%, 15%, 20% overdriven. And what that means is this pulley is 15% smaller, 20% smaller than the crank pulley itself. So if you watched my last YouTube video, you'd see that kind of what we did was we put it on a junkyard motor, junkyard 350. And when I say the crank pulley, is you'll have a pulley on the crank snout just like that, and this one has 40 teeth, and that's counting these 1 2 3, there's 40 there. And the blower that we put on it on the snout had 38 teeth. So this one's overdriven, not by a lot, but it is a little bit. So in order to identify these, a quick reference guide, when you're measuring one or you have one, your buddy has one, you're looking to buy one, what you do is you measure the case length. This is tried and true. So you measure from right here to right there, to that seam. So a 671 is going to have a 15-inch case. So from here to here will be 15 inches long. Nothing else matters after that. You're only measuring the case itself. This one piece. An 871 is going to have 16-inch case. And what that is these rotors follow the case. They sit inside of it, and they sit here, and they go all the way back to here. So with the 15-inch case, 671, you'll have 15-inch rotors. And obviously, the longer the rotor is, the more air the blower will push, the more boost you'll make. So kind of a quick reference guide here is 671 is a 15-inch case. A 871 is a 16-inch case. 1071 is a 17-inch case. 1271 is an 18-inch case, and a 1471 is a 19-inch case. So, kind of what you do. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. You just measure the case itself, kind of see where it's at. So kind of self-explanatory here. Kind of what you do is you measure the case from that seam right there to that right there, and you'll get 15 inches. So this is a 671. easy to identify. People, aftermarket manufacturers, blower shop, dyers, BDS, they're making billet cases now, and this case is just a billet piece of aluminum that's been milled down, and they kind of look different, but they still have the same function, still have the same rotor length. There's no difference other than it's an aftermarket part. So quick reference guide here is obviously 671 15-inch case, 871 16-inch case, 1071 has a 17-inch case, 1271 has an 18, 1471 has a 19-inch case. So the only one that stands out a little different is the 471. It does have a 10-inch case, and that's another GMC blower part, a 471. GM made a lot of those, and you'll see a lot of those on hot rods too. GMC did make 271s and 371 blowers, but they're not as common. They just were too small of a blower. So that's it. I wanted to give you guys a quick little tutorial on how to do that. And like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.